Hi there, this is Mark Killian. Welcome to Killian's Kitchen. And on this episode, I want to show you how I prepare a pork tenderloin. But before we do, what am I drinking to accompany this? This is, I don't really like flavored beers, but this is insane. It is made by a company called Stiegl, which is an Austrian company based in Salzburg. Their beer is amazing, really good. But they make a flavored grapefruit beer, which is really, really incredible. And I can't recommend this beer enough. It's incredibly refreshing. It's not sweet. It's very tasty. It's just a class act, and it is a perfect accompaniment to a pork tenderloin. So let's get started. Now, first thing I'm going to do is unwrap my tenderloins, and we are going to let these guys sit here for at least an hour, if not more. The longer the better. You basically want them to be at room temperature before you even think about starting to do anything to them. And I'm just going to leave them here on this plate, unwrap them. They are, of course, wet and slimy because they've been vacuum packed. And so the idea is that over the course of an hour or so, you will get the water evaporating, the liquid, the moisture evaporating. But to help that, I'm just going to pat them down first with a bit of cloth, with a bit of a paper toweling here, and flip them over. Just get them as dry as you can, and that will really help. And of course the plate is all gungy with its goo, and now I've got these guys kind of as dry as I can. So now I'm going to let these guys sit here for an hour or more, and once they're at room temperature, we will start the seasoning process. Okay, so now we are ready to season these guys. They've been sitting here for about an hour. Could let them sit more, in fact the longer the better, but I'm hungry, so let's get to it. First, salt. Coarse salt is the best, and be liberal and spread it all over. And then the next thing we're going to add is coriander. Now this is whole coriander, which I roast in the oven for about 15 minutes on 420 Fahrenheit until they are brown and just before they start turning black. And then I am going to grind them sort of half-assed so that you get still a lot of husks, and it's not just a powder. You want a lot of the husks in there. And again, you want to be very liberal. You basically want to spread it all over so that you get really good coverage, and then pat it down into the meat like that. And most of the salt and the coriander is going to stick in there, which is what you want. And then finally, rosemary, fresh rosemary. I have it growing in the garden here, so again, very liberal. A lot of this rosemary is going to fall off, so put a lot more than you think you should put. And again, I'm going to put it down there, and now to help the rosemary stay on there, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil over the top, and again pat it down there. Okay, now we turn it over, and we do the same thing on the other side. And now I'm just going to roll those in what's lying at the bottom of the plate here, and push that rosemary in as much as possible, and voila! These guys are now ready for the grill, a thing of absolute beauty. Okay, so now we're at the grill. I'm going to get it, I've got it to the hottest it'll go, which is around 600 Fahrenheit. It doesn't really get much hotter than that, but that'll do. So what we're going to do is pop these guys on there. Gotta love that sizzle. Now we're going to do that 3 minutes aside. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes, time to turn them. Oh, look at that. Nice and dark, black. It's beautiful. Another 3 minutes and it'll climb back up to 600. Okay, another 3 minutes have gone. I don't know if you can see the smoke coming out of there, but that's a beautiful thing. Now what I'm going to do, look at that, beautiful, beautiful. Just pop them on the top tray there, and now that they're on the top, I'm turning it off, and I'm going to let it sit there for around 10 to 15 minutes depending. And I'm going to be monitoring with this thermometer, sticking it inside the meat periodically. And what we want to do is get to a temperature of about 120. And those of you who have done this before will say, hey, it's not cooked at 120. And yeah, you'd be right, it needs 145 to cook. But I have a special trick that I do. And so I'm going to get it to 120 on the shelf, and then it's going to come off and cool down. Alright, so it's been there for about 10 minutes. Let's check up on it, and what we're looking for is somewhere around 120. That's 124. That's 126. Alright, so I'm going to pull them off onto a new plate. You don't want to put your cooked meat on a plate that had raw meat on it, so we're just going to let it sit here for a bit until it cools. And what I have here is a little bit of butter that I've melted in the microwave. And so what are we going to do with this butter? Okay, so now that they've cooled down a bit, I am going to, first, I'm going to turn the barbecue back on. Again, full throttle. We once again want to get this guy up to 600, as hot as it'll go. Then, I'm going to take the butter I just melted in the microwave, not much of it, less than a quarter of a stick actually, and I'm just going to paint it over this now that it's cooled down some. Not super thick, you don't want to drown it, but you want to cover every possible bit of the surface if you can. What we're going to do is heat this grill up as hot as it'll go and put this on the grill for literally 30 seconds. And the butter's just going to immediately ignite some flame action in there and get this really very quickly crispy and almost burny. And with that 30 seconds, hopefully we're going to be at about 145 inside. Right now it's sitting at about 120 and it's going down as it's cooling. So let's wait until this gets to 600 and then the fun begins. Okay, so we're up at around 600. It's time to pop them on there for the last go. "30 seconds. As you can see already, the butter dripping in there just sparks the flames up. You can see the smoke, and it's going to be beautiful. Alright, time to flip them. And that's 30 seconds. We're good to go. And let's go and see what we've done. Okay, so it's the moment of truth. Let's check it out. I'll take that one, pop it on there, and that is a beautiful pink right there. Just how you want your pork. I'm not a big fan of pork that's red, so this is perfect for me. So let's have a look at how it tastes. I'm going to take this piece right here. So tender inside, and the burn, that burny taste of the rosemary and the roasted coriander. Yum! I shall have more. A very inexpensive and very impressive dish indeed. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. This thing is delicious. It's easy to prepare. It doesn't take that long, and it's very impressive. It's always a hit. Goes very well with asparagus, which I also did on the grill out there. And in fact, I put it right in the same place where the pork was, so it soaks up some of the juices. I just bathe it in a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper, and it's not on there more than 3-4 minutes, and look how beautiful that is. Yum. Crunchy too. So take care, and I will catch you on the next episode of Killian's Kitchen.